I'll always support him.
Hey.
So how's your family?
They're doing well, thank you.
How we doing?
Oh, where did you come from?
Across the city.
Yes, I got you now. I can see you.
Oh my Lord.
Old?
Yeah, I've been sick for like 5 days already, and
Oh,
I think my body's telling me to come down, and I'm just like going and going and going.
Mm.
Are you still working out?
Yes.
Do some yoga. Take it easy with the yoga.
Yeah, I need to do that. I know I should do that, but I'm being stubborn, you know?
Yeah, right? As long as you know what you're doing.
I'm modifying right now because I don't have the energy.
Yeah. And take advantage of the 3-week yoga.
Yes, I'm gonna do that. I'm doing T25 right now, and then the gamma, because I never did gamma before.
Yeah.
I have like 2 more weeks, and then I'm gonna jump into the 3-week yoga.
Gotcha.
Did you do the 3-week yoga already?
I've done 3 of them so far.
Okay, you like it?
It's pretty good. I don't mind it. And the little guy's hopping in on it, so
Oh, nice.
it's fun, right? So he came home from school and he's like, "Are we gonna go down and do yoga?" I'm like, "Okay."
Nice.
So
Listen, they learn from us, right?
that's right.
So, do you want to talk about the schedule for the next couple of days until people hop on? Or?
Yeah, we can do that. So October. So what do we have? We'll have the 12th, 19th, and then the 26th. Right?
Yes.
Okay. Anything in mind yet?
So I invited my team to do like a book club.
Okay.
On personal development. So like my idea would be to read a book a month or whatever they want to do, or they want to do audio. And maybe I was thinking of, if you want to do the same thing with your team, we can use one of the Zoom team calls a month to go over, to like a book club.
Okay.
And talk about our takeaways and,
Do you have any books that you have on the top of your list right now?
I gave them I did like a little poll in the team page. One was Badass, You're a Badass by Jen Sincero.
Yeah.
The other one was a 12-week year.
Okay.
And the other one was 10X.
Okay. So I've got 2 of those. That 12-week year is new, right?
Yes. That one Saudi recommended to get.
Yeah. I just saw that one.
But it looks like everybody wants to do the You're a Badass.
Okay.
Did you read that one?
I have. But I'm willing to do that one again. I'm willing to do one of those.
Yeah, I just think, if we can get our coaches into personal development,
Yeah.
And I was thinking of creating like a group page for us, just for the book club.
Okay. So like a challenge group almost?
Yes.
Hey, Derek, I hear you with an echo.
That's
You hear
because
me?
me and you, Angel. One of us has to mute ourselves.
Of course, it's going to be the husband.
It was all good until you jumped in. How are things going? Doing all right?
Everything is good, man. Watching baseball, watching my Mets.
After that Blue Jays last night?
Dude, it was a good game, man. You missed it.
Hey, I was sleeping.
But listen. As soon as the Mets are eliminated, I'm going to concentrate on football and hockey.
Gotcha.
Listen, after that call with David Atkins, shouldn't even be talking about sports.
What?
There's no time for sports.
Cut my balls off while you're at it.
You got no time for that.
Nah, man.
I was going to put something like that, but I didn't want to offend a lot of people. It's like, hey, I got better things to do than watch lame-ass Blue Jays play.
Dude, I don't know about that, man.
Hey.
I mean, no, I understand the Blue Jays and all, but the Mets. Mm-mm.
Who are they? I'm joking, of course.
That's all.
I don't even know anything that's going on with baseball. I miss World Cup of hockey. I miss all the Olympics. Like whatever.
Isabella, what are you doing?
Nothing was going on with that World Cup of hockey, man.
Except for we won. And the U.S. didn't even make it.
U.S. sucks, man. They have a horrible coach. They have a horrible team. It was terrible. They were terrible, man.
It's just like the National Hockey League. You take away the Canadians, and the U.S. teams would suck.
No comment, man.
And did you see Rob's post? Rob Bicknells? He's talking about going to hockey and stuff.
Who's Rob Bicknell?
From FitGC.
No, I didn't see it.
I guess he's playing hockey tonight, and he had a thing going on. And Danny posted something about, I don't know. I put, are you playing consolation games already?
Oh.
So they go back and forth with Canadian comments.
That's foul, man.
Yeah. So I guess let's get this started. It's already 5 minutes in. So let's mute everybody. It's already recording. So I don't get that feedback. I'm gonna mute you guys. Oh, we lost somebody. There she is. Okay. All right. And right after I introduce everybody and say hello and welcome to this week's call, do you have any advancements or anything to add, JCR?
Yes, Jessica, do you want to congratulate your Emerald coach?
Carlos?
Yes.
Congratulations, Carlos. He's not on. But congratulations to Carlos, my first Emerald coach. He killed it.
Good job.
One night, made himself emeralds.
Perfect. Good work.
Right after, was it right after the David call? The David Atkins call?
Like immediately after.
Signed up to coach back to back.
Yep.
Fired him up.
Yep.
Perfect. Just what we wanted to, right? All right. So basically, I guess we've had some awesome calls in the previous weeks. And, it's always good to reconnect and just have, our teams in and just get right down to business again. Having guest speakers is always good to throw in some dynamic punches and some awesome trainings that we can push forth. So I thought, digging deep, I want to go right into the personal development that I've been listening to, and one that just fired home a bunch of stuff at me this week. So I am actually going to play a little clip of this podcast, and I want you guys to listen to it, and then we're going to go off on talk about it, okay? So let me know if you can hear this, okay?
You wrote, you have to take your strengths and talents. And what does that say?
Okay, can you hear it?
Heavy line around 8. Well, those unpack that.
Hold on.
Because you need to be in my unpack that. I know what happened. Turn in my. I got to say this quick commercial,
Okay.
folks. So Marcus is on Instagram.
Can everybody hear it?
And every once in a while, he puts these lovely little quotes
Yeah,
out on
okay.
a notebook. I got to tell you, I love it, just personally. I'm going to read one of them because I think it's a nice statement here. And I want you to explain it. I know what you mean, but I think it's a real challenge to us. You wrote, your weaknesses speak the truth of who they are, and you underlined they. Then you said, ignore it. And the next statement is, your strengths speak the truth of who you are, You gave that one 2 underlines. Honor it. I thought that was so powerful. Unpack that. I know it's a simple statement, but unpack the idea there of weaknesses are speaking the truth of who they are versus our strengths speak the truth of who we are.
Yeah, well, I mean, I just scribble these. I'm just,
Oh, I know.
you know, these are things that are just going on in my head, and I'll sit down every once in a while and I'll just scribble a few down. But the funny thing about your weaknesses, let's say that you are fearful of public speaking, or you are fearful that you don't always follow through on your commitments, or you are fearful that you aren't as creative as you need to be in the current job that you're in. Whatever your fears are about what your weaknesses really are, that you're not perfect, that you're not as good as everyone says you are, or maybe that you even have a deep-seated insecurity that if everyone turned on the lights really brightly, they would find you out. That there's this kind of charlatan sense that we all go through life with it, that it's all just for show, and deep down we aren't really as good as that at all. Those voices that we all have, you have them, I have them, those voices that tell us that we're not actually that good, that we really don't follow through as much as we should, or that we're really not as driven as we should be, that yes, there are days when you don't get done everything you're supposed to get done. And what does that say about you? Those voices are very persuasive. And by the way, they're not untrue, because there are days when you don't get done everything you're supposed to get done. There are days when you perhaps don't follow through on a commitment. There are days when you're perhaps not as creative as you should be in your job. There are days when, yes, those weaknesses that you possess, that's not a total falsehood. They speak their truth, your weaknesses, that little voice in your ear telling you that you don't possess that talent as much as you should. That's not lying. That voice is telling its truth. Yes, you did not do that. Now, it's a boring truth. If you notice with yourself, for all of you who are listening, if you notice when your weaknesses talk to you, they always use the same words.
All right, so that kind of stuck out to me. And there's a bunch in that kind of got me thinking. Now, a lot of us want to try to hide what we don't feel right about ourselves, right? We kind of hide that from others. And we struggle with that all the time. Now, it could be for any kind of reasons. Things that we're not good at, things that, we're ashamed of, all kinds of things that, we don't want others to know at times. Things that we struggle with. It could be addictions. It could be, all kinds of like being not organized, being whatever. There's so many different things that each and every one of us will probably struggle with. And it could be different at different times of our lives. But he goes on, and this is the EntreLeadership podcast, and it's Marcus Buckingham. And he talks about, basically your talents and your gifts. And that was just a small part of it. So, yeah, we see all these weaknesses within ourselves, but we don't give ourselves the credit with our strengths. And with these strengths and these talents, these are gifts that are not for us, but for others. And that's what he goes on with the rest of that podcast. So I'm going to share that podcast, and I put it in Team Eagle. Please listen to it, because it really hits a big nerve, at least with me. And I think it should with a lot of people that, want to give what they're good at, what their strengths are, what their given talents are, and give them up and help others with them. And I think it is directly what we do as Beachbody coaches. We give people the help they need. And hopefully that we have the strength to do that, and that the ability, and we want that, right? So, he goes on, like, what are you blessed with, and how can you contribute those blessings to others? And that's pretty strong. And sometimes we don't know what we're blessed with and what our gifts are and our strengths. And, sometimes it says, what do I possess and how can I be of great service to others? Going to be the best you for others. I've got like 3 or 4 pages of notes that I took down in the half hour, and it's incredible. And then he talks about these certain strengths, and this is how I can relate it to my life. there are certain things that we become good at, right? Whether it be riding a bicycle, whether it be, for me, driving a truck. I'm really good at driving a truck. I can put that truck better than any car into a parking spot. Does that mean I'm passionate about it? Just because I have a strength in something doesn't mean it fulfills me. So sometimes we do things that are out of context of what we want to give back to people. And it's usually, and it carries on, but it goes to a lot of people follow the adornment of that job, what that job brings. And it's usually the money. And it has nothing to do with the passion of it. So, you know, the adornment and the activities. These activities is what you are going to be good at and that you're passionate about. So when you're doing these certain activities that you are blessed with and that you're good at, that really drive you and that really just compel you to do more, these activities, you'll notice these activities when time like just speeds up. I notice that when I'm playing hockey. That hour can be gone like that. I'm passionate about playing hockey. I love it. And that time just flies by. When I'm doing certain things that you really love, time will just fly by. When you're doing things that you don't love, you'll know things are just dragging on and on and on. You're not passionate about it. You can tell. So, you know, he goes on and he talks about how can we pass this on to others and how can we see that in others and to our children. And it's just trying to find these activities that just drives them, that just gets them focused, and time will just fly by for them. And they'll want to do it. You're compelled to do it, you know, and your energy changes with it. And it just keeps on growing hold. And, you know, he says, like, with a lot of these things, the appetite for it, and you can see it with, like, I'll relate it to sports again. These athletes, they're passionate from when they're little. They, like, maybe they're forced into playing, but then, you know, if you're still playing at 40 years old, you're obviously passionate about it. But they get so good at harnessing these, you know, gifts that they're given, you know, 10,000 hours of doing this, and they still love it. You got to find that thing that no matter what drives you, that those 10,000 hours mean nothing. Helping people comes down to, are you willing to put in the time to help these people? Are you passionate to help them? So with these certain strengths, you put in these practices, and then there's a performance. You are the best judgment of your own strengths. No one else can judge your strengths. Others can only judge your performance. And you will see this at anything. People will see a performance of you, of how you're doing things. They can judge you for that, but they can't judge you for the strength and the passion that you have for that. Maybe they see the performance differently, but your passion, they can't judge what you feel and how you feel about that activity. So, you know, what activities really are you drawn to is what you got to figure out. The activities that no matter how many hours you put in, how many times you're doing it for nothing, those are the things that you have to really focus on. Oh, okay. So, you know, when they're talking about certain jobs, you know, a lot of people will go after these jobs not knowing the activities that are involved. So, you know, talk about doctors who love or that were really good in biochemistry and in medical school and everything like that, get their PhD or whatever, and then they're working in a hospital and they hate sick people. They don't like working with sick people. They're not working to their passion and their strengths. or they have the strengths in that because they got good at it, but they're just not passionate about it. What else? Even you could say that with anybody that, you know, goes for these jobs because they're good at it, but they're not driven to do them. Right? It's you're caught in the middle when you go after these shiny objects and the money and this, the fame, you know, but then there's no passion to it. You're not fulfilled. So they talk about the why, the who, and the how much. All these are relevant, yes, because you need them, but it doesn't depend on anything but the what, and the what is your passion. You have to work hard for what you love, and that's what makes it good. So that's kind of the gist of it with that podcast. There's a lot in there, and that is kind of like summarized, but I felt that it could be totally brought in to Beachbody and to whatever you're doing personally. And you got to find it. You got to, and it's hard sometimes, but you'll know it when, like I said, that time doesn't mean anything. Right? It's something that no matter how hard it is or how difficult it is, you're willing to do it no matter what. I find that very true when you're talking to people. You know, it's frustrating getting no's when you know people want the help, when, you know, you've talked to them countless times and you know the only objective is money, or the only objective is time, and you know it's this BS crap. But you don't give up. You keep saying, you know, you keep working your tail off, keep showing them the value, you keep showing them what you do on a daily basis, because over time they'll see that you're passionate about it and that you care about the outcome of it. So when you're passionate about, you know, working out and taking care of yourself, and that's the most of it. You got to be passionate about taking care of yourself. You want to be the healthiest version of yourself for those closest around you. 100%. It's not selfish. It's taking care of yourself so you can be the best you can be for others. You don't want them to have to look after you. You want to be able to look after them. It's reciprocal almost. You put hard work into yourself so you can help take care of them. So you don't have to rely on them taking care of you, right? So when you're doing that and you're showing people how much you care, you know, to take care of yourself and how much better you feel and what you're able to do. And that's all this is sharing where you've come along in your journey. Keep doing that and eventually they'll come around. Show your passion, your strengths. You'll find strengths within this passion. What you're good at, organization, or this and that. Showcase that. There's so many things that, you know, I have weaknesses in. My organization is horrible. It's horrible. But, you know, I focus on my strengths, which I think is the motivation part. I try to motivate the hell out of people. And people say that to me all the time. You're motivated. Cool. I wish that kind of transcended through more other stuff, but as long as I'm motivating people, I think my job's done. I feel rewarded that way. So I kind of want to leave you off with that is, you know, figure out what you're drawn to, you know, and I think if everybody is drawn to, you know, helping people and living a healthier life, I think Beachbody is perfect for that. You know, because there's nothing more passionate about this business is how you, what the Zig Ziglar says, you help enough people, you'll get what you want kind of thing. So if everybody's helping others and you're constantly giving that to others, I think in time, it's only going to come back to you. I think that's all I got. So does anybody have anything to add in? And I'll unmute you guys, or I can unmute you all. Except for Angel, because we'll get feedback.
I'll mute myself. Okay,
where's Angel? Okay, go ahead, Angel.
Hey, Derek, I completely understand where you're coming from as far as passion, and because as everyone knows, I'm very passionate about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I've been doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 8 years now, okay? And you're absolutely right. There are times when I come from training, it could be 3 to 4 hours, and that I'm in the school. And the only time I know I have to go home is because Joanna calls me. But the thing, yeah, time just goes like this. Because you know what it is? I enjoy doing what I do. And it's because I'm not blaming you, Joanna. I'm not blaming you. No, what I'm saying is that, you know, she has to like kind of like drag me back home, because if it was up to me, I'd stay 8, 9 hours, 10 hours, whatever the case may be.
It wouldn't seem like that.
Yeah, it just goes, and time just goes. And, you know, and like lately, like with work, it's just kind of like Joanna and I, we're talking about it. It's like we just live for the weekend. We live for the weekend, and work is kind of like one of these things where, like, after 22 years, I'm looking at it and I'm like, oh, you know, is it 3 o'clock yet? And it's only 8 o'clock in the morning, you know? So I completely understand. And, you know, I can understand, you know, being in this business, you know, with all the rejections, with the expectations come with the failures. And, you know, all the more no's that we get, for me, is very discouraging. And I'm not going to lie, I still get discouraged. But, you know, at the end of the day, I have Joanna to thank, because she puts me in check, you know? So, I mean, listen, I completely understand where you're coming from as far as that goes, you know? You can mute me now, Joanna.
JCR?
No, I mean, I don't have anything to add. I think it was a very powerful quote. You know, it's just so amazing. Sometimes you don't have to say much, but one sentence has so much meaning, you know. So I think that as long as we're doing the personal development and we're applying it, and we're actually like not just listening, you know, that goes from one ear to the other, but really putting into practice to improve what we do, not just as coaches, but as individuals. You know, I mean, honestly, I've become a better parent since I started personal development. I've become a better wife. I've become a better listener. I've understand what my weaknesses are before I didn't, or what my strengths are. And it's been through the personal development. And like I said, sometime last week or 2 weeks ago, I feel like if you're a coach and you're not doing this, you're not going to be successful. It's just not going to happen, because you're not going to train your mind for the rejections, for the objections. And when they happen and you feel like, you know, other people are criticizing your weaknesses, you're going to quit. So
100%. I think personal development is huge. 100%. And, you know, I do a lot of podcasting just because I'm driving a lot and it works. And I do Audible books, but everything is Audible. So I wish I could write it down as I'm driving half the time, because some of these quotes are just amazing. But, you know, a lot of it does stick. And if you keep on putting it in, you put all this good stuff in, it's going to stick. If you're putting all the negative in, that negative is going to stick. So what are you going to pick? Pick the good, or are you going to pick the bad? There's already enough bad that happens outside in the everyday work. You know, take some time each day and put in the good and focus on the good. Does anybody else have anything that they want to add with their strengths, you know, passions? Nobody?
No, I
Why?
don't personally.
Left everybody just speechless? But definitely listen to that podcast. I can't say enough about just how it can, you know, when you hear certain things, how it can spark you. That's to go with some of these events. And I hope everybody's going to make it out to Super Saturday. You know, these events, when you're among all these people, that energy enough just invigorates you. And then you're hearing stories, success stories. They're sharing trainings. You know, an awesome workout. You guys are going to have Joel down there. You know, we had Joel up here last Super Sunday, I think. No, it was a Super Saturday. But these events, you know, just being around everybody, sharing, being around like-minded people. And, you know, being around the group, like just a group of people doing the same stuff, passionate about the same stuff. You know, there's different groups within the groups. You know, there's going to be people that, you know, the turbo people, and there's the insanity people and whatever, but we're all on the same path and all on the same team. That's another awesome podcast I listened to, was just how as young as 8 to 10 years old, there's biases within us. And support groups can kind of help that because, you know, you'll see it. You know, there's blacks and there's whites. And then, you know, there's the racist and, you know, sexualism and all this. But you put them on a hockey team or a football team, you don't see color. You don't see age or ethnicity, anything like that. Then you see the Blue Jays and the Mets. And then once you know that this guy's a Mets fan, they're part of your clique, right? So then your group just gets bigger that way. So no matter what we see, we support each other with our passion for health and life. Can't we all just see that rather than anything else? You know, but at 8 to 10 years old, they have studies, and this is kind of like preliminary studies about babies and how they choose things. And they had a puppet that did a bad thing and a puppet that did a good thing. And these kids would choose the puppet that did the good thing. And when, you know, another kid did something bad to that puppet, they disliked that kid. And then, you know, it just, you picked your support groups that way. And it was as little as under a year old. So we have biases that young. And he talks about, you know, we can't control these biases, but we can control how we react. So, you know, look at it as a team of support, no matter what, you know, team that they represent, which was kind of a cool podcast too. So October 12th, 19th, and 26th are our next calls. We're going to get together, JCR, and try to figure out what we're going to go on for those ones.
Sounds good.
And, you know, hopefully the 29th is Super Saturday. So get out to that. You know, hope everybody did that Court of Force preview because I was sore as hell.
Oh, yeah. Did anyone have any feedback regarding that? Did you guys do it, Jessica and Carlos?
I'm going to unmute everybody now.
Yeah.
Unmute.
You know, this is what I love about Beachbody because the workout itself wasn't that hard. But the fact that it's a new routine, like my thighs were on fire the next day.
My lats and the back of my arms from the uppercuts and punch, my God, killing. Like they're still sore today.
Was it this? Was it the entire week though? It's
It
still on,
wasn't
right?
the
It's still
entire
live
week
now?
that they're
Or is
doing.
the-
It's done.
It's done.
Okay.
was just that one?
So yeah, they sometimes they'll do like another preview before, but it's done. It was fun. It's not as challenging as some of the other workouts we've done before, but it definitely, like, I felt the burn, particularly in my thighs the next day. I don't know why.
Repetitive, right?
Huh?
Repetitive with the
Yes.
punching crosses.
No equipment.
No equipment.
Zero throughout all
What
of
was
it. 27 minutes?
It was 25 minutes. Yeah, like 25, 27 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They're not going to be, Beachbody's not going to be making long, I don't think they'll be making very long workouts anymore after,
I think everything will be 35 minutes or less.
yeah.
But it was definitely a fun workout. He's going to have, I think he said 6 similar workouts to the MMA that we had. And then there's going to be 4 other ones or 6 other ones that have different kind of jiu-jitsu stuff into it, but 6 that way that had the rounds and the 3-minute rounds or whatever, which was pretty good. It was a good workout routine. So yeah, get out to the Super Saturday. Definitely get out, because these events are what makes everything happen. It's good to be around the team. It's good to hear everybody there and just get encouraged and invigorated again. Especially if you're very passionate about helping other people, 100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
And for those that are going to do the book club, so what we're going to do is, Derek, if you agree, we can take one call a month on a Wednesday, and we can do like the meetup, so because we're like Zooming every day, so we don't want to add another Zoom, but I think it will be a good opportunity that if once a month we discuss the book as a group using one of the team calls. It's personal development. And then we're going to create a group page, where we can go and talk about it and talk all the chapters, maybe go live in there. Maybe we can alternate one day, Jessica, you can go live and talk about what you took away from that chapter. Maybe the next week, Derek can go live. And then once a month, we can meet up here on a Zoom call on a Wednesday.
Would it be good to have like a timeline of like how many chapters we can get done
Yes.
in a week? So it's not like too overwhelming for people,
Yeah.
but try to get this many done so that we're
Yeah.
on track. Cool.
Yeah.
Did we decide on a book yet?
Looks like everybody wants to do You're a Badass.
I just got it today.
Okay. So You're a Badass. Since you have it, Jessica, why don't you decide? I don't have it. I will have to buy it. How
Okay.
many chapters it is, and let us
Fine.
know. And then we can I'll create the group, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. So awesome call.
Maybe so that we're not confused, like we should say the book club will be the 4th Wednesday of every month.
Okay.
Last month.
That way we know. Right? That sounds good?
That would be what? 7 chapters.
27
So a chapter a day. That's what it's going to be, almost a chapter a day, eh?
Well, it depends on how long the book will be.
27 chapters.
Oh, 27 chapters? Okay.
So it's basically almost a chapter a day. See if we can.
I don't know how long the book is.
Have it written.
But
It's not very big.
okay. Alrighty. So why don't we plan? We'll create the group page. We'll let everybody who's going to be joining on the book club. If you have not commented that you're interested, please go to our team page and comment that you're interested, so that I know who to add to the group. And Derek can invite his team, and we'll do this as a collaborative effort to get us, on PD. We can talk about it, because you could read one chapter, Derek can take something away, I could take something completely different away, and, we can start holding ourselves accountable.
Cool. All right. So thanks for
good.
hopping on.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Have a kick-ass rest of the week, everybody.
Yes.
See you next week.
Take care.
Bye-bye.